Mark stood under the flimsy awning of a coffee shop, clutching a large, cylindrical tube. Inside was his final project for his architecture degree, the culmination of a sleepless year. It was due in 1 hour, and a sudden downpour had turned the city streets into a rushing river. He had just enough money for a cab, his last $10 tucked safely in his pocket. If he was late, he would fail the entire program, invalidating the mountain of student debt he'd already accrued. His future was in that tube. As he frantically tried to hail a cab, he noticed a woman huddled in a nearby doorway. She wasn't homeless. She was dressed in a simple but clean coat, now completely soaked. She was sobbing quietly, staring at a puddle where a leather portfolio floated, its contents spilling out into the grimy water. My research, she wept to no one in particular. Years of my life's work ruined. People rushed past, shielding themselves with umbrellas and newspapers, completely ignoring her. Mark looked from the woman to the street, his anxiety spiking. A cab was finally slowing down for him. It was his only chance. He took a step toward it, but the woman's despairing sigh stopped him cold. He could see his own years of hard work in the tube under his arm and imagined how he would feel. He let the cab go. "Ma'am, let me help," he said, kneeling beside her in the rain. Without a second thought, he carefully opened his own precious tube, slid his blueprints out, and began using the sturdy, waterproof container to scoop her drenched papers out of the puddle. He worked fast, placing the soggy, handwritten notes and charts onto the dry patch of concrete under the doorway. It took 20 minutes, and by the end, his own rolled-up blueprints were warped and smeared with ink. Utterly ruined, the woman stared at him, her tears replaced by shock. "Why would you do that? Your own project. It's just paper," Mark said, his voice hollow as he stared at the wreck of his future. He helped her gather her salvageable work and then walked, defeated, toward the university in the pouring rain. He arrived an hour late. His professor refused to even look at the damaged project. "Deadlines are deadlines, Mark. I'm sorry." That evening, a black car pulled up to his small apartment. A man in a sharp suit knocked on his door. "Mark Jensen?" he asked. "I'm from the Chen Science Foundation. Dr. Evelyn Chen sent me." The name was legendary. She was a Nobel laureate. She was incredibly impressed today. She's been working incognito, trying to finish her final thesis, but was struggling with the loss of her husband. What you rescued wasn't just research. It was her final connection to him. The man presented a letter. It was an offer for a full-time position designing the Foundation's new international headquarters. The last line, in elegant handwriting, read, "You sacrificed your structure to save mine." A man who understands that the human foundation is more important than a physical one is the only architect I want. Share if you believe that building up others is the best way to build your own future.